The movie starts off like an episode of Bob Ross, painting an atmosphere for what's to come. We have two seemingly innocent people, a couple, doing couple activities such as rock climbing in the middle of nowhere. Now, I'm certain they didn't GPS this location. How did they find this place? I'm saying this now. If I'm in a relationship and my partner wishes to do some survivalist escapades, who are you talking to? Cosmo and Wanda? Because only those two niggas can grant that wish. That is beyond my realm of magical understanding. I'm good. And I don't even know why she was even out there to begin with. She is struggling. I know I would struggle. That's why the only climbing I'm doing isn't to bed. It is what it is. Rich done made it to the top and left his girl. Damn. Isn't that how the story goes? Started from the bottom and she was still there, just dangling that far behind. I don't think this was a retreat. He might have been trying to escape from her. But if you listen closely, I'm not trying to be funny. You can hear the sound of Rich getting broke. This man's life was taken, and there was no particular set of skills that was gonna save him. She down there hitting the jerk mid-air, and Rich was plainly tossed into the air, first class, to the ground.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
But at least she got the help she wanted. Pull straight up. Hold on though. She might have been listening to the Reba theme song, because low-key, she was trying to survive in that bitch, put out a knife, and begun using it like a second finger, sort of like Edward Scissorhands, only to And who was down there? It's hard to leave your day ones. Now they're both back in the trenches together. Nope, you don't have to tell me twice. That thing is laughing like a hyena straight from the elephant graveyard, but was moving with the sheerest speed and athleticness of Usain Bolt, but with the diet of Lance Armstrong with Ryan Garcia's favorite appetizer. I'm not fighting that. That thing laughter screamed, I like to eat ass. Only people who eat ass laugh that heartily. That's why I only got a light chuckle. I have a weak stomach, but she was different from me. See, I hear that, I know I'm dead. Come kill me. But she got up on go, sprinting through the foliage. I know I'm getting caught. I'm not making it fun for him. That laughing means he wanna chase me. I am not the Roadrunner, and you are not Wile E. Coyote. I'm be right here in this same exact spot with an apple in my mouth, ready. Whoa. See, I'm trying to use some of that reverse psychology. They probably don't know what that is. My ass is getting eaten. Not even in a good way either. And they must have been planning for this one moment or something, because right in front of her was a vessel of safety, her chariot, drawn by horsepower, mere feet away, and her feet was taken away, tripped by barbed wire. I stubbed my toe, and I'm having a bad day. She probably only have her shins left after running into that wire. Plus side though, she didn't have to walk anywhere because she was dragged away. Silver lining, depending on how you look at it. Now it's time for the movie to introduce us to our real main characters. First up, this dude, Chris, just jamming out in this old ass Mustang. Even though it's probably new during that time period, but it's old now. When he ran into a traffic jam and he couldn't afford to wait, had a job interview lined up, so he ended up taking an entirely different route. And look at that sign. My mind begin to wander when I see signs like this. Just looking at it is creepy. That's how I know I took a wrong turn. But this interview he had planned must be life-changing, because the decisions he keep making following this turn is definitely gonna be life-changing. This man pulled up to an area constructed of rust and depression and asked to use a payphone that can only reach tetanus, but he didn't let all the red flags surrounding him detour his dreams of making it to his interview. Found an old ass map somehow hanging and found himself a route to take, seemingly a replacement, and off he went. But even his CD started shaking, music skipping, trying to let him know he made the wrong turn. You have a dead gray deer just cooling on the side of the road, and this man was doing everything but paying attention to the road. Like, why are you fixing your mirror to look at a dead deer? You are not gonna heed the warning and turn around, so why be fixated on it? Leading to his dumbass rear-ending some randomly parked vehicle. Wait a minute, no hazards? It's their fault. I am not taking the blame. Now this is the part of the movie where we get introduced to the other main characters. The first two came up with care and compassion. Hey, you right? And the other two?
What the hell are you doing driving so goddamn fast?
Nah, put your hands up. What are you talking about? Why are you coming so aggressively? Your car was a hazard in the middle of a winding turn. They do not need to know I wasn't paying attention. The key to being right is to convince them they are wrong. So the situation at hand, Francine's mother car had a flat tire because someone tied barbed wire to a tree and set it up and off rip.
You don't find that suspicious?
But hey, they accepted it and kept moving. So what was their plan now that both cars are total? I don't know. Chris, Jesse, Carly, and Scar geared up and started walking. Can't be to that ass station Chris just left. They were heading in the wrong direction. Niggas set off to find a yellow brick road. No plan. Who doesn't carry a spare tire and jack in their car? While these two, Evan and Francine, just go ahead and say RIP. They decided to stay back. But hey, at least they got to finish their blunt and are now about to get freaky. No sense. You are alone in the woods. Someone is equipped in trees with barbed wire like it was moss. And you're like, fuck it. let's fuck. And he's not wearing socks. I know you took his shoes up to a bag of smart food popcorn, and if I'm being honest, lick one of his toes. Hold on, it's not what you think. They need brain cells to make better decisions in life. It's not freaky time when freaky shit's happening around you. I don't know, different strokes for different folks. But off the two of them for a second, we cut back over to Chris and them, and
Hey, is anyone up there?
if I was Chris, I'm leaving them. They came across a burning pile of darkness with tires tossed about. Now, with the evidence at hand, one would assume there was an accident, right? But judging from the barbed wire pseudo-voodoo that gave the clueless bunch their flat tire, this might be a trap or a clear indicator of danger. And Scott started screaming, "Hello, is anyone there? Shut your ass up." Listen, I'm all for donning tights with underwear on top, embodying the essence of a hero, but this seems like a trap. Never mind, I'm just like the clueless bunch. It wasn't a crash, but a campfire, so I apologize. It seems I need to suck up toes to improve my intellect. That's on me. Goddamn criminals. We have Francine just raiding Chris's car, taking his snacks, smokes, but karma hit them fast. Ever heard a sound in the woods and started to investigate? You part of the Scooby Gang? Oh man, that is not the mystery mobile. When the f you join the FBI or forestry? Forest Rangers, that's what they're called. Forest Rangers. And she must have been sworn in as well, because she saw his shoe and then she heard the Pink Panther theme song. She needed to investigate. But we cut back to the fort, and now Carly was missing as well. The writers wanted to compound the suspense. Two missing at once. But we cut back to Francine. No wonder Evan wasn't responding to her. He was busy listening to September. You get it? The band is called Earth, Wind, and Fire, and this air is on the ground. Earth, it's outside, so it's bound to get a little windy. That wound looks a little severe, so I know it's burning. That wound was on fire. You get it?
That was garbage.
I apologize. She was staring at it disgusted like it was manwich. She didn't even turn, just started backing up. I'll be damned, nigga. Evan, I'm sorry, but he was gonna be hearing the sounds of my feet smacking violently against the ground as I ran. To where? I don't know. Wherever my feet takes me. Fear kind of disturbs your common sense a little bit. Never mind. She got snatched up by the mouth, and the thing that did it was too smooth with it. That was not the first time he did that. But what pisses me off, I know he's not washing that wire after every use. So now all you taste is ass, pain, and rust. And this man was far too big to have maxed out his sneak to where you can't hear him walking. But you couldn't at least smell him? It looked like he smelled like existence. One whiff and you will understand the medieval era in its entirety. And you smell nothing? Back to Carly being missing. She was just playing games. Evan and Francine out there fighting for their life, and she's trying to make a little joke. I'm like, Carly, we're lost in the middle of the woods. Now was not the time. But look at Jessie being badass. Foot on a railing. God damn, you look tough. That's what she was going for. I'm giving her compliments. Now somehow the four of them made it to a creepy ass house, littered with artifacts of people who became victims. And Scott had the right idea. Nah, double it and give it to the next person. But Chris and Carly, two simple asses, led him into a mess. Just walking into the house. One for the bathroom and the other for a phone. You think this dirty ass house have a phone? You looked at the outside of the house like, they have landlines. Niggas probably don't know what year it is. You be like, you got a phone? Telephone? Once inside, nothing in this house screamed welcome. It was a Disneyland gift shop if it was operated by Freddy Krueger and the dirty nigga, looking like an episode of TLC Hoarders. And Carly still wanted to use the bathroom in a place that looked like it banned the word clean from ever being spoken inside. That's a no-no word, like Voldemort. And I don't know what Chris was even looking for. Did he think the more he walked, a phone would magically appear? Dude was checking refrigerators for a phone, and he opened it and saw this. No reaction. That's creepy. I see like 9 jars of human jello. It only took Jessie seeing barbed wire, and she knew it was time to dip, but it was too late. The tenants of the house were back from human grocery shopping with their new haul in tow, both of their cars, turning their trip from where's the cell phone, where's the bathroom into a game of prop hunt. The four of them turned it to hide and seek pearls. I can't imagine having to hide while human-sized Smeagol started carving up one of my friends, making a symphony from the sound of bones and flesh being sliced and broken, all in the effort of dinner. You don't like the Hungry Man's? They're pretty good. A Stouffer's lasagna? Too expensive? You said you only like nigga pie? Understandable. So the four of them snuck out while the freak slept. All that carving made them a little sleepy, but they ended up waking up one of them, getting caught. But I'll be pissed if I was Chris. How you wake up? I sacrificed my hand for no reason, getting cut up by this rusty ass chain because I know y'all don't oil it. The cannibals got up and was like, ooh, lunch. Look at him. This man was excited like he didn't have a 3-course meal already on the table. She was a little skinny, I'm not gonna lie. But don't be too greedy. Plus, your fridge is full. You have a body in the tub. These niggas are the embodiment of a sin. You have enough food, let us escape. But Carly done pissed me off. She tripped and stopped running, crying, talking about some, no, I can't. You didn't see what they did to Carly. You were the one that decided to keep an eye on it like it was Mr. Incredible's chest. What were you trying to see? How long it took them to carve her like a pumpkin? No one told you to watch it. Scott over there having a TED talk trying to convince her to stand up and leave, leading them to a graveyard of cars. But that's when I realized if they would have doubled back, their survival would have been greater, because the cannibals arrived at the car graveyard like they knew for certain the four of them were heading there. But Chris came up with a plan. He saw that the cannibals left their car running, and he wanted to turn into Michael from GTA 5 and steal it, but they needed a distraction, and it was him. He was not a long distraction. But he was still trying to play his role. But Scott knew it was over. He had to audition for the role of distraction now that Chris had a hole in his leg. And Scott did a good job. Better than Chris can ever dream of. The man was moving like he wanted a gold medal, but somehow they turned his back into a pincushion. How did they catch him? Man was moving like he had the same legs as this nigga. There was no way they was keeping up with him. He had the cameraman stressed. They had to chase this nigga like an episode of Maury. So Jessica and them kept driving until the truck became useless. And Carly was... damn, sucks to be her. No wedding. Can we get an RIP for Scott? Good man. But hey, if she gets her head in the game, she can still say her vows, but to the act of revenge instead. The three of them made it to an abandoned watchtower, and Carly still didn't learn.
Hello? Is anyone up there?
Why are you screaming? What if they had a ranger cannibal up there? We don't know the variants of their species. I don't want to become Scott. No offense. They made great tissue though. But while the three of them were in the tower, they found a radio. But somehow the cannibals also found them, armed with torches. Luck was against the main characters of this movie. Whatever they did before the events in this movie must have been bad, because karma and bad luck was gangbanging the life out of them. Because why did a radio just so happen to get a signal and response alerting the cannibals to their exact location? It wasn't working the entire time. They walked by, gotcha. They managed to keep them at bay, blocking the only hatch to enter, but they had fire and they wanted a snack, and it seemed like they didn't mind barbecue. Some smoked stacked ribs, setting the entire thing ablaze. Carly was thinking about hitting the John Wick, jumping from the tower, but Chris was the first to go. I don't know why this nigga like sacrificing himself. I guess anything for Jessica. That's why he's doing it. He landed in the trees. Hold on, I think the bad luck stopped with them for a second. Probably needed a Gatorade break because everyone made it. Well, guess who's back? Well rested and hydrated. You guessed it, bad luck, because Carly was gone. Couldn't get married, and now her head and body had a divorce. Crazy. All those people now down to 2. But hey, Chris got another plan. Hopefully this one works better than the last. We know one of the cannibals were in the trees hunting them, real deal bugging them, and Chris wanted to swat him like the bug he was being, with his branch crafted cannibal swatter. So Jessica acted as bait, and the cannibal took the challenge and appeared right behind her like a ninja made of saggy nuts. Nigga looked like a drawing made by a street artist with arthritis, and it worked. He crafted that thing in 2 seconds, had that thing singing hymns of death as he fell, allowing the two of them to leave the trees and make it to a waterfall to enjoy the night. And Jessica started spilling the beans as to why her and her friends were out there, and it was a comfort her because her boyfriend dumped her. Now they're gone. In the wind. Damn, let me get an RIP for some real friends. Chris grabbed her face trying to calm her, proclaiming it's not her fault. Dirty dog, I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do. But the morning came and the possibility of them escaping was right in front of them. A road. All the trials and tribulations they faced seemed to melt away the moment their eyes hit that road. Never mind. I don't know how this cannibal found them, but he was on their ass. Even when Chris was armed with an axe, man got smacked into Sonic. Rings gone. They took his potential girl Jessie and there's some hope. He found an officer who can hopefully lend him an eye and help him look for Jesse. Never mind, he lost his eye. With the cop gone and the cannibal taking the cop's car, Chris decided to hitch a ride back with him in hopes to save Jesse. I think. I don't know. But I can say Chris came in hot and loud, set the building on fire, and started putting his doctor skills to use, performing surgery on one of them, freeing Jessica. And how is he not dead? Man have 9 inches in his guts and is still moving like he doesn't. Let me try some human. This nigga's too tough. It has to be the human meat. I'm just joking. But Jessie had to put a score on the board herself and doming the dude in the head with an arrow. And the one I thought died from the trees came in. How you not dead too? Unless I'm mistaking them. They're all ugly as hell. But he got tag teamed. He thought he was too tough. He wasn't. His performance was cut short. Axed. But they didn't die. They kept getting up. Humans can't be that magical. The meat is not that good. I'm assuming. I never had human before. Eating peanut linguine and becoming invincible. It took Chris blowing the house up for them being able to leave, and the two of them did escape. Clap it up. She has no more friends, and a lot of explaining to do when she make it back to civilization. But they lived. But the cannibals are still not dead. Clap it up for some human meat.